how to open a bank account in Dubai and what are the benefits of opening a bank account in Dubai. The keyword, of course, like always, is offshore bank account. Like many people, they search for offshore bank account. Why do people do that? Or why are you doing that? Or why did you Google this keyword or any related keyword to that? In most of the cases, people don't trust their government. In most of the cases, there are problems in their own country or some circumstances that make them think, maybe I should not have all my eggs in the same nest. That's the reason of offshore banking. That's the main reason of offshore banking. And there's a history behind, of course. It's like one of the biggest history makers was, of course, Switzerland, because Switzerland decided to establish a special law or a special security law, and that's called the banking secrecy. The banking secrecy or the bank secrecy was not established to avoid taxes. That was not the original idea. The original idea was to help people to secure their money from war. Because when the Second World War started, short time after, that was also the start of the bank or banking secrecy. That was in the Second World War, and that made Switzerland very, very rich. So what happened after all these decades after the Second World War was that more and more people wanted to use this banking secrecy and came to Switzerland to protect their assets. And this established a really interesting banking hub in Switzerland with experts, with asset managers and so on. And Switzerland became a very strong name. After the financial crisis that started in 2008, 2009, Lehman Brothers and the huge financial crash, there was a lot of pressure on Switzerland, a lot of pressure that put the country in a spot where everybody said, okay, tax evasion, money laundering, and so on. It pushed Switzerland in such a bad corner that they decided to cut off the banking secrecy for foreigners. So they still have the banking secrecy for locals and for residents, but if you have a bank account in Switzerland and you have your home or your residency in another country, you're usually not protected anymore by the banking secrecy. And that literally dried out the financial hub of Switzerland, and it was a huge loss for the country. So in 2018, a new international law got implemented, and the law is called CRS, or Common Reporting Standards. It's actually related to FATCA. Maybe you heard about something about FATCA. If you're American, you know for sure. FATCA is a law that makes you pay taxes in America as an American citizen wherever in the world you are generating income. So let's say you're American, but you live in Spain, you generate your income there, you still have to pay taxes in America. That's called FATCA. So if you're American, you will always pay taxes. There's no doubt about this. As a passport holder or a citizenship holder of any other country in the world, it's usually like this, that you pay taxes in your country as long as you have your permanent residency there, as long as you live there. Should you be German, for example, and you want to leave your country and do your business or generate your income in another country, you usually have to pay taxes in this country. So you will not pay taxes in Germany anymore if you cut off everything there, basically. So the new law, CRS, or Common Reporting Standards, says that you will report it to your home country's tax authorities if you have a bank account somewhere outside the country. So let's say you're German, you have a bank account in Switzerland. Switzerland is, or the Swiss banks are forced to report you to your home country's tax authority. So there is no banking secrecy anymore. So there's basically no need anymore to bring your money anywhere outside. Especially if the money is already taxed and you will be still reported, there's no sense about it, right? So if you are Spanish and you open a bank account in Dubai, the same. Also the UAE signed CRS. Also the UAE have to, or UAE banks have to report you to your home countries. Tax authorities, no bank secrecy anymore. But CRS is residence-based. It's a residence-based law. That means if you move your personal, your private residency to the UAE and you open a bank account in the UAE, you will of course not be reported anymore because you don't live in your country anymore. The interesting thing is, if you become a resident in the UAE and you want to open a bank account in Switzerland, you are still protected because Switzerland will not report to the UAE because there's no tax authority, there's no taxes. So what I mean with the whole story is, if you optimize your private residency, your person, if you put your person in a spot that doesn't have a tax authority, that doesn't charge taxes, that doesn't take taxes from you, then you put a flag in a spot where you're treated best, and where you're treated best from that spot, you start to build up, not the other way around. So first, when it comes to a bank account in another country, and it's not just to have like a current account where you do your daily transaction or whatever. No, we talk about proper bank accounts where you want to build up wealth, where you want to start up with a proper amount, of course, or where you have a business outside and you want to start up in a proper way. That's like an offshore bank account. It's, honestly speaking, not for small amounts. It's really for proper amounts. That's why banks also asking for minimum deposits, of course. But you have to think globally. You have to start to understand that your life is not endless and there is no need to pay so much to governments if there are other governments who give you much more benefits, and this completely legally. So opening a bank account in Dubai is possible, but only for UAE residents. If I want to become a UAE resident, I have different options. Either I set up a company, for example, and I have the right to apply for a so-called investor visa, or I invest in property. I have the right, for example, to apply for a golden visa, or I get hired somewhere. Of course, that's also an option. But I have to have my Emirates ID. With my Emirates ID, I will be able to open bank accounts. Otherwise, there is no proper and serious way to do that. Please keep that in mind. If you need assistance when it comes to this, to structure you in a way that you will be able to have your bank account with your bank secrecy, with a professional bank, with a safe bank, then use the link below and ask for a free consultation for 30 minutes. And we happily assist you in that. And I personally hope to meet you one day personally in Dubai. All the best.